Hello everyone and welcome to Frappes and Frequency, a space for us to slow down and tune in and reflect on the collective pulse one sip, one shift at a time. So the date of this recording is the 28th of December, and because I did a general kind of reflection for 2025, I'm going to just sit with the energies of 2026 and just see what comes out. 2025 was about ego death and truths being revealed. So let me know in the comments below if that's what it felt like for you, if there was a massive shift in thinking or behaving, or just a deconstruction of belief systems, frameworks, just systems in general in your life that have shifted dramatically, or you're currently in that space of like a transition of sorts. So I have no idea how this is going to flow. I can't even recall how I did it last year, because a lot of what wants to be explored in this space is presence-led. So I'm going to just kind of roll with it and see what happens. But before we do that, let us gather ourselves, take a moment. Merry Christmas to you if you're watching this close to Christmas time. We just had Christmas. It came and went it's so quickly. It's just unbelievable how time operates. But yeah, let's take a moment to just gather ourselves, just take a breath, just feel into the now moment. So just taking a couple of deep breaths. If breaths are not working for you, just feeling into your seat, feeling the chair supporting you, feeling into the spaces in the body that can be relaxed a little bit. I guess overall just sitting with what is in this moment in time right now. I'm picking up this anxiety or this anxious energy. And I'm just aware that the shoulders are sitting quite high, so I'm just going to bring some breath and some attention to the body itself. Taking one more deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when you're ready, slowly bringing your awareness back to the screen, if you are closing your eyes. Yeah, so I'm not sure what this anxious energy is. I'm just checking my lipstick. Yeah, there's just this interesting kind of anxious energy. And I say anxious, right? But it could also feel like excitement, because I feel like those two are the same. Like the way it presents itself in the body anyway, it could allude to it like excitement or some kind of activation. So where shall we begin, my friends? Maybe pulling a card or two for the overall kind of vibe. Yeah, it's still sitting there. So What this could also feel like, or how this could also present itself, is this uncertainty. You know, when you're not quite sure how things are going to play out, and it's intensifying these emotions or feelings in the body that, I mean, we want to try and label, right? Every emotion, every thought that we experience, we want to try and label it, give it some sort of form or logic it. So just be mindful that whatever you're experiencing, whether it be through thought, mental processes, through body, ego processes, try, and I don't like to tell people what to do, but there's a sense to just give it space, whatever it is, just allow it to. I'm hearing the words fuel and feed, so I don't know if I like that very much, but it's very interesting as to it actually coming in here, because we don't want thought or emotions to feed anything, right? We just want to be with what is. So even if that's an acknowledgement in and of itself, just to be aware, not to feed or feel any mental activity or body activity. Just noticing the body leaning towards the right side, which is the masculine. And I feel this is what this is representing, this feeding, this fueling is the doership, the doing, instead of the feminine aspect, which is the being. Or as, I don't know, my throat was completely fine and now it's starting to play up. Michaela Bohm refers to it as go and flow. So go being masculine energy, flow being the feminine. There needs to be some type of balance within. Okay, let's see. 2026, what do you have in store for us? Interesting, I just opened up to threshold. Interesting, and the venom on the other side. So we are crossing a threshold, essentially. We are moving into a brand new calendar year, which is a threshold of in and of itself. I'm seeing the creator card as well that tried to fall on the floor. So, and I will say, like, there is a lot of uncertainty for this collective. I tried writing things out and it was very vague and obscure, like it did not make a lick of sense. Even sort of writing words next to months was really strange. So not, and that literally flew, and it flew on its side like this. The riddle. This symbol, I feel, is the triquetra. So it can represent threes. Excuse me, maiden mother crow, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. The riddle. This is a very interesting card. It is a very interesting energy. I feel like this is speaking to the uncertainty. I mean, get another one. So 2026, the riddle. The unseen. Now that I is significant. Why? Yes, this is feeling like a very, even the energies that are being perceived now is like this fogginess almost in the head. How can I explain this? Like it's clear and it's not clear. I don't know. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But let's read what it says about the riddle. Because I do feel, yeah. Okay. The puzzle, the question, the mystery. When the riddle is present, one must stop searching for the right answer. It cannot be found, and ultimately it is not important. Man, I'm feeling this so much personally. I don't know if anyone else is, and I feel like this is only going to be, I don't know why I heard the word personified. It's not what wanted to be said, but it's definitely going to be embodied in 2026 for a large group of the collective. Just this diving within. Okay. Rather, there must be a shift from the literal to the metaphorical, from logic to mythic. You are thinking too small and literally about the situation. The riddle card appears when the energy is deep and mysterious, like the elusive wisdom in a Zen koan. Focusing harder won't do it. Neither will increased effort. Time, surrender, and humor are your only allies. What feels like the most pressing dilemma won't reveal its deeper wisdom for a long time. Eventually, you'll learn a profound lesson from the riddle. For now, get comfortable with the limitations of your intellect and the reality of not knowing. That's what was felt, this uncertainty. And the anxiety, the emotions, the body feelings that go with it. It may in fact be the only reality there is. When light, a great awakening or aha moment. When dark, manipulation, deceit, trickery. When I did pull it, it was in the shadow aspect. Wow. Only because it's the prompts on the side are asking like self-inquiry style questions, and on the other side it says, who am I? The only way to work with a riddle successfully is to not work. So this is what I was talking about in terms of the doership. There's this and this ties in beautifully with the unseen. This is I don't really need to read that, it's quite self-explanatory. But this is feeling like a deep integration for some, because the word's coming out, so I'm going to speak to it. It feels like a deep integration for some, or for others, a awakening of sorts, or this experience of not knowing, which in and of itself is a lesson, is the lesson, right? Realizing that we do not have any control, realizing that the only way through this is through surrender and trusting grace. And there might be, the word opportunities wanted to be spoken to, so I'll use that word, but there will be opportunities that you might not feel are opportunities. It might be like projections from others, or projections, like your own internal projections. that may come around as distraction, and that we were speaking about this for the last 3 to 4 weeks. We've been speaking about these distractions, and that was felt in the when I was feeling the energy as well. It feels like there's distraction, but at the same time there's also the steadiness, and some may feel like it's a commitment of sorts, or you're committing to going deeper, you're committing to your faith, you're committing to a journey, a pilgrimage of sorts. There's a want or need or desire to understand yourself deeper. That's what this is feeling like. And it can be very disorienting. And it will be disorienting. However, stay the course. Like, this has been proliferating through the reflections of late, and I don't feel like it's settling down anytime soon. I'm going to mention it because it's coming through now. This might be very significant for people who are a personal year 8 or 9 as well. Numerology, right? So I think you work that out by adding your date of birth, like your full date of birth. But just look it up, like how to work out your personal year. When I made some notes, well, the notes that did come out was personal year 8 or 9. I know for myself, I'm a year 8. Something to that effect. Anyway, irrelevant. Or relevant, whatever. But yeah, as I was saying, there's some types of projections that might try to steer you off course, or might come across as having the right intention, but I do find it interesting that it's not talking about the actual symbol on this card. So there is some type of mystery going on here. And I said 3, right? There's a 3 here. Okay, there's a 3 here. On the other side, there is a 5. So that speaks to 8. But what is this actual number? Whatever that number is, the L-I-I-I. What is the L again? I know X is 10. I'm not sure. I'll look that up because I feel like that is relevant to some degree. But yeah, so, I mean, overall speaking to just not knowing, and I don't know why the light is so weird. Sorry guys, yeah, the lighting is super weird, whatever. Okay, what else do we want to do? I was going to do this. Let's pull from that and see. Yeah, it's a very interesting it's a very interesting energy, whatever the body is sensing right now. It's feeling like I said, a disorientation, but there is an awareness of the disorientation, which speaks to self, which speaks to the fact that there is always that there's always the, how does this one be phrased? There's always awareness. Awareness always remains. Like when you take away, when you strip back the labels, the forms, the concepts, what remains always is awareness. So it's always there. And whatever we're going through, I feel for the most part, particularly with, our experiences, we tend to lean into, I'm just allowing how this one wants to be said. Where we tend to lean into this knowingness of we are always taken care of, we are always protected, so to speak. Call that what you will. So even though there is this disorientation, there is also this level of trust, this level of security even. Hope this is making sense. I know, I'm fully aware that this type of content is not widely searched on YouTube. People want to know what they want to know. They want the answers. And they don't want to hear from some strange bird with red lips that we have no fucking idea, man. We have no clue what's in store for us. Try to control the narrative as much as you want. We know absolutely bugger all. So there's a little bit of dread that goes with that, but there's also I'm hearing the word safety, and I personally do feel that when I feel into that. There is just this, I don't know why it's difficult for me to actually verbalize this. It's just because it's you're not able to. It's just a knowing that if you're able to surrender, if you're able to let go of whatever you think you need to do or say or whatever the case may be, how do I say this? There comes a relief with knowing that we have no control. Yes, there's dread, as I said before, but there's also a knowing that it's not something to worry your mind about. Like the ego will take it to that place. And when I speak to ego, I speak to the mind. We'll take it to that place that will create some sort of activation, whether that is mental activity. So it's even trying to screw with the words right now. Like it'll come in and try to veer you off course. But as I said, there is that subtle awareness of like, no, that's not what I wanted to say, or no, that's not what I wanted to do, or to put it in like non-dual phrasing. This is very interesting, man. Like I can't actually there's no way to verbalize this without fully feeling into it and embodying it. Because whatever comes through words is just coming through ego. So I guess a good practice, because that's all I can offer in this moment right now, is to sit in stillness, is to just be with whatever. If some difficult emotions come through, if you're going through some type of experiences and it's activating you, be with it, right? Be aware of the ways that your mind, the ego wants to control the situation. And freaking breathe. Breathe, be with it. Try not to overanalyze it. Try not to give it labels or give it form. Just be with it. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm sensing this very it's not confusing. It's not confusing. Again, being aware of the labels, the ways that we want to give things form. Whereas everything is energy. It's all energy, it's all frequency. Yeah. It's just allowing, I'm going to say this very lightly, but this is the way it's being brought through, allowing the takeover. And I don't mean that in the way people might perceive it. What I'm saying is allowing the surrender, allowing the not knowing, allowing the uncertainty to settle, and essentially, whatever's trying to block the voice from expressing this right now, no. Essentially allowing God to take the wheel. Let's just put it in that way, so that hopefully people will understand what I'm speaking to. What there is some very strange I'm getting that bubble energy again, like feeling held in a bubble. Gosh, this is interesting, man. Like, I'm going to try and carry on even though I'm feeling into this. That it's intensifying, whatever that is. So we've got Saraswati, we've got Karma in the reverse, we've got Dharana, which is self-attention, which I've been speaking about the last 29 minutes, and Sattva, which has come out in the shadow as well. I'm going to pull my book because anyway, it doesn't matter. So again, there's no order to these. I'm just pulling out as it feels. I feel like if I was doing an order, anyway, it doesn't really matter. But let's speak to Saraswati, she's a goddess, no? She's a deity. She'll be at the back somewhere. Okay, goddess of creativity, intuition, and insight. Saraswati appears when you have surrendered to creativity, the endless stream that we only catch glimpses of but can feed us for life. She's the sacred river, flowing with divine wisdom, nourishing us with nectar for the soul. Art, music, dance, and literature. You must draw upon Saraswati when new ideas you may draw upon, Saraswati when new ideas are flourishing and you're channeling universal wisdom. Saraswati appears in the ingenious moment when you think of something straight from the heavens, when you lose yourself in a dance, when you become one with the music. She is the very source of all inspiration, embodying the cosmos through communication, meditation, intuition, speech, and sound. Saraswati has come to you to deliver the message to pursue that creative idea with full force. You are fully supported by her blessings. So that could be a specific message for someone. That was in the last video, I believe, creativity. And I feel why that is quite I feel like that the reason that is coming through is because when we are creative, when we're doing a creative project or working on some kind of creative process, we are in the now. We are in the moment. We're in the now. And creativity, it comes from God, right? It comes from source or grace or however you perceive awareness, self, presence. So let's have a read of karma. Karma is quite self-explanatory. It has shown up in the reverse. So it says karma is the sum of one's actions. Okay, reverse. Negative karma. Sometimes we take a wrong turn and move away from the direction of our dharma. At first it can feel like a poke, which becomes a punch and eventually manifests as an accident if you continue to ignore it. This isn't the universe going against you, but rather sending messages that you are taking the wrong course and must shift gears to come back into alignment with your dharma. Take a break from social media, television, and social obligations and use that time to reflect. Yeah, I feel like what this is speaking to are those distractions, right? And when things are presented to us in the form of patterns, as in like things continuously looping, but presenting itself differently, like we can go through the same kinds of scenarios, the same kinds of experiences, and it might present itself in a lesser or higher form, as in quite intense or not as intense, but still the patterns proceed. That is a indication for us to really check into present moment, to check into, to go within and to self-inquire, because those are things that the gurus would call vasanas, which is past life karmas. So what I feel this is speaking to is 2026 is, and I feel like 2025 has been that also, has been like a preemptive strike, if you will. But it's an open invitation to start addressing those things that are continuously looping, that the ego is kind of perpetuating, whether that be certain belief systems or the way that we behave, the way we allow certain things, or whatever those loops are, however they present themselves to you, that needs to be addressed. I've said this in previous videos, because when we don't address our vasanas, our karmas, they just keep repeating itself, and it doesn't get any easier, my friends. Like, it gets to a point where we have to wake up and take notice. So whatever that is in your life that is looping, that is continuing and being perpetuated, this coming year is going to be an opportunity for us to really sit with it. And as I said, Dharana is self-attention. It is that inner focus. So I'll just, I've already spoken to it, but I'll just see if there's anything else I can give you. Single focused concentration. It is time to focus your mind on one goal to undergo the transformation that comes from concentration. Yeah, essentially what that is going within. It is being focused on self. And I mentioned that before when I said that whatever happens, whatever experiences we go through, be with it. Be aware of the ways in which we, spiritually bypass or bypass things in general, as in not addressing issues. It is only going to perpetuate, if not in that particular scenario, and I'm just being brought to awareness of things like family dynamics. If it's not addressed, either outwardly, like with family, friends, whatever, then address it within. Really start to shed some light on some things, whether that happens through journaling, through meditation, through self-inquiry, through slowing down at the core, at the base, just being with what is, being with whatever's presenting itself and trying not to, project our own sort of thoughts and emotions and feelings on it and just see it for what it is. Okay, Sattva. Now, where is this one? No, Sattva, Satya. Come on. So I just want to bring your awareness to, like, you're sitting there, you're watching me, you might be getting activated, like, God, hurry up, why didn't you know this card's like, be very mindful of that, because what is being allowed, allocated here is the space to witness your own thoughts. No shit. Okay. I just said being aware of your thoughts, your space. What did I say? Don't fucking know. But I said be aware of the thoughts that are coming through while you're waiting. This is the first sentence. Have your thoughts been cloudy lately? There you go, right? Have your thoughts been cloudy lately? Have the foods you've been putting into your body been less than pure? Has your breath been swimming in shallow waters? It's time to cleanse your body, mind, soul, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is just talking about, I guess, ideally, because it says purity and clarity, and I feel like when we are in a space of true surrender, being with what comes out, and I'm by no means a freaking expert on this. Like, when I say collective, I have include myself in that. I'm just presenting here. I'm just the vessel. When you are in a space of querying into things, sitting with ideas, thoughts, feelings, whether that be mind feelings, body feelings, things do become clearer when we're allowed to when we're allowed to let go. That is a bit interesting. I feel what that speaks to is our tendencies to try to control everything, to try to control our experiences, to try and control our feelings, like holding back tears, for example. I'm not saying go out there and be an emotional wreck, but I do feel like, people used to talk about meditation a lot and how beneficial it is. And I do feel like that is pertinent. However, it's just the awareness of, because what we can do, what people think about meditation is we're physically forcing our minds to clear. And I feel like this is why a lot of people do struggle with meditation, because we're like doing the meditation, like we're trying to force no thought. Doesn't happen that way. People will have a different opinion and perspective on this. But when we are inquiring into our thoughts, as in just sitting, and I don't mean like this is a type of meditation, it's just being aware of the thoughts. Just see the thought and go, oh, where did that come from? Like, not, you know what I mean? It's just seeing the thought. Yeah, I don't know how else to explain that, but just becoming aware of your thoughts. That's it. You don't have to necessarily do anything. It's just being with it. So I feel like this is going to be a big year for transformation, on a very internal, integrated and embodied level for a large collective. And I've already seen it this year. I've already seen the word uprising wanted to be said. So it's like there's this uprising of energy, and on the outside it might look very chaotic, right? Like the world is going mad. It does. That is happening. That's no farce. But I do feel like why that is happening is to wake us the fuck up. And I don't mean, that can look different for everybody, right? It might be just like being aware of our leadership, for example, but it also speaks to being aware of how we lead ourselves. Don't know if that makes any kind of sense to anyone, but I do also want to bring awareness to the fact that all of these cards are like this goldy color, and I feel like that speaks wildly to grounding practices, nervous system regulation. That is going to be and I do feel like wanted to be said earlier, but whatever's said, I don't freaking know. I forget it the minute I say it. But nervous system regulation is going to be so important going through into 2026. I know personally 2025 big time, and I thank grace that in 2024 I studied somatics, which essentially is nervous system regulation, just quite going into it quite deeply. That is going to be significant in like now and forever. Just saying, because the world is mad, and the only way for us to be able to work through this and work through this together is to regulate ourselves. That's the only quote unquote thing we can control, is staying grounded and staying regulated. And I said all the cards were gold. I'll show you the other cards have oh, interesting. Yeah, so other cards have like purples in them, oranges, blues, and these ones are all, there's probably one that's got more orange in it, but they're all these grounded earthy colors. Okay, what else do we want? What else do we need to know about 2026? Let's just put it this way, it's going to be a deeply contemplative year for a lot of people. We're going to start questioning. I mean, we already started, sorry, but there's going to be even more questioning. That straw kills my vibe. Okay. Okay, so what's popped out is water, divine masculine. There's a lot actually. Water and divine masculine are the first two cards I saw. I'm gonna pop it back in, but there's also protection, nature spirits, earth, I just said that, and release. Okay, there's definitely some releasing of some sort coming out because the cards just pop back out. What else for 2026? And when you're in a space of self-attention and contemplation, reflection, naturally that tends to happen. We tend to release a lot of things that no longer align with us. The Satya card, Sattva card, the Karma card. Transmute, so shedding skin. Transmutation of energy, as in shifting. And I've got the fire card below. Fire is a means to transmute. For example, a lot of people do like full moon releases where they'll write things on a piece of paper, burn it in the fire. That's a form of transmutation. But it's essentially shedding of the quote unquote old to make room for the, and it's not new, it's what already is, right? It's not like the snake is transmuting itself to become a new snake. It already is that snake. It's just that the layers that it no longer requires, it is now shedding. Like an onion, when you peel it, you're not peeling a new brand new onion. You're peeling what's already there. You're peeling back the layers of what's already there, what's already created. Okay, I'm just going to get one more card from this deck. Karmic path. That was in the last read. So we're finishing, we're ending. It's a completion of sorts. And we've got divinity at the bottom. Now I can hear my kids coming through, so I'm just letting you know, it might get a bit noisy. What else can we do to close up? Let's get a couple of tarots, hey? I'm seeing the Temperance and I'm seeing Nine of Swords. So yeah, you know, I know not a lot of people want to hear it's going to be a possibly challenging year. I guess it depends on how you perceive challenges, right? Challenges afford growth. Yeah, you know what I might do to close up? I might do a 12 card spray, just one card for each month. But let's get a couple of tarots first. Okay, bottom of the deck, we've got the Devil in reverse. So this is stepping away from the ties that bind, from bondage, from attachment. I'm getting a feel to pull another one from the bottom. Page of Swords. Letting go of attachment to certain ideas. Or belief systems. We've got the Three of Wands. So this is looking ahead. I get a sense of like biding time, being patient, feeling inspired, but biding time. We do have a Chariot here as well, and it's come out in the reverse. So an energy of, I guess, patience in a way, of there's a need to really stay and play. That's an Australian thing, I think. But not rushing off to get the waves that are not there. There's no need to rush. There's no need to rush. When it comes in, it'll come in. If it comes in, you know? As in, inspiration will come at the right moment, when you are surrendering to the now moment, when you are surrendering to allowing grace to free flow, you know, like detach from the notion of doing and trying to control everything, and allowing God, grace, source, universe, consciousness, whatever, to properly use you, and I say that lightly. But let's get a couple of which deck can we use? Let's use this deck and get 12 cards for each month, and we will leave it there for 2025. So this is 2026. 2026. Just gonna move these. And hopefully I'll have some nice new decks in the new year. Yankee wood here. Okay. Let's see. I'm just shuffling. Okay. January, February, March, April, May, June, August, September, October, November, and December. Okay. So January, we've got tree ancestry. So this might have to do with family, looking at your roots, honoring your roots. February, we have patience, yield. And I did speak to that with the Chariot card. March is reflection, mirror. March. April is action, which is interesting because that's the month for Aries. Sunflower, action. What did I say? January, February, March, April, May is harmony. June is messages. Be interesting to know if there's a retrograde then. July is balance. August is recycle, recover. What was that? August, September, opportunity, key. It says doors, keys open doors. October, November. October is abundance, cowrie shell. November, not relationships. And lotus flower, enlightenment, December. So who knows? Next year, December, it could be at the culmination of everything that's all these, the pieces of this puzzle, of this riddle. May you find the enlightenment that you are looking for. Although it's already within you. You already have it. It's just a matter of stripping back that which needs to be stripped. Okay? But yeah, friends, thank you so much if you're still hanging around watching this. I look forward to what's to come, challenges or not, because they're always an opportunity to grow. They're always an opportunity to learn more about who you are. So make sure you regulate yourself in whichever way feels in alignment. Take deep breaths, make sure to slow down and be present with everything. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much for supporting me this year in 2025, and I will see you in the next year. Mwah.